Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast for another Wandering Wednesday that may get a little wacky, brought to you by our buddy Kyler Henry and K&J Insurance. The presenting sponsor of this episode of the Wandering Dutchmen podcast is brought to you by our buddies Kyler Henry and John Voiles and the rest of the folks at K&J Insurance. Over at K&J Insurance, they do more than just sell insurance. They work to craft personalized plans of protection. K&J covers all personal insurance, including the major insurance needs such as home, auto, renters, motorcycle, off-road, and RV insurance. But they don't stop just there. They can also insure your business. You think K&J are done with personal and business insurance needs? Heck no, they aren't. Kyler and John can get you set up with any necessary Medicare plans and life insurance you may need. Talk about a one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Their office is located right next door to us in Petersburg, and you can check out their website, kjinsurance.net, or give them a call today, 812-809-4452.
The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah. The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time for your favorite podcast coming out of Holland, Indiana. It is the Wandering Dutchmen for a wild, wacky, Wandering Wednesday show that's brought to you by our buddy Kyler Henry of K&J Insurance. I'm Esquire, and sitting at the table, he still hasn't found his rose-colored glasses, folks.
Got the turtle on.
It's our buddy, David Allen Smoker, rocking the turquoise with the turquoise turtle. But unfortunately, the rose-colored glasses are out, buddy.
MIA.
That's a tough thing there. That's tough.
We need to burn this mother down.
Yeah, we'll have to find it.
It's got to be somewhere.
Sitting across from me with the Mo Responsibly shirt, it's our buddy with a little mess of tough of hair and a mustache. It's our buddy, friend of everyone, City of Huntingburg Employee of the Month for another month to keep the streak alive. It's our buddy, Big Bass.
Hey, guys.
How we doing?
Fair.
My goodness. Fair to Midland. Why so melancholy?
Hey, before we get any further, we've got somebody very special to thank.
Miss Hildy.
Because this bad boy right here,
God dang.
the Danish
from
Kringle
Racine.
Son of
from
a
Racine, Wisconsin.
bitch, them things are good.
I like them lots.
So when I was explaining to Justine's family the other day, I said something about these Danish Kringles. And Angie, our friend up there at Toys Auto Parts, where the most important part is you, she said that I guess I can't remember if it's her that went or one of their suppliers, like one of the sales rep for somebody up there, brought them some. Somehow she knows about them, and I was like, then you know, girlfriend. And then that Granny Dina then has ordered them on the old interwebs.
Oh, heck
Do you?
yeah.
Hey, do you know what would be a great trip?
If we get sponsored by Danish Kringles.
No. If we
Hello, diabetes.
honestly, if we drove up to Racine,
In a single row, like U-Haul van.
Yeah.
Standard cab truck or something.
Just load them all
load them up. We'll go up there. We'll cut up. We
Now,
cut
how
up.
far of a drive we thinking there?
I think it's like 7 hours.
It's just north of Chicago.
Shit far. That ain't
We
bad.
make that trip no problem.
No, 14 total.
We pick up our buddy Uncle Todd McComas on the way. He ride with us.
Nah, we ain't got no room for that. By the
No,
time
yeah.
it's just us
yeah,
and
3
these
people in the truck.
and then a load of
Danish
these here
Kringles.
Danishes. We're going to be pushing that GVWR there.
Yeah.
What is it? Gross
Vehicle motor weight.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm a
Gross
CD.
vehicular motor weight.
Gross motor vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, gross motor vehicle.
Yeah.
I thought there was an R in there. Rating.
Rating.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that is.
GVWR. Yeah.
Smoke Dragon, what you have
Gross
going on?
vehicle weight rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I got the hives today. I get the hives
Wow.
from
And
time
just
to
we're
time.
going to clarify HIVES.
Yeah.
Hives.
Sorry. Lots
Hives.
of
If somebody's listening on like bad stereo or listening in a loud environment and they just heard you say, I got the HIV.
Yeah.
No, it's HIVES.
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 Right.
The little red itchy bumps that kind of pop up.
Yeah, more like welts, big welts. But I can't take Benadryl and go to work because enough Benadryl to do the job makes me pretty sleepy. So I take
Know all about that.
I don't remember what they are, but I've got like a green bottle allergy medicine, a green lid, and I got one that's like
Zyrtec?
purple lid.
Zyrtec
Allegra.
and Allegra, yeah.
So I mix those in the morning and take one of each.
Oh, a little cocktail.
Yeah.
Get it again after work. It seems to be keeping the hives at bay, but I'm running on fumes, boys. Like I ought to not be, but I feel like I'm running on.
Hey, there's enough sugar in this bad boy. Ain't gonna
hell
get your
yeah.
heart.
I can't take it because of my crazy pills.
Your crazy pills.
Yeah, the active ingredient in Benadryl counteracts with the crazy pill active ingredient, and then like I get these zaps and skin crawls. And
No, I've been having a fluttery heart all day. Felt like you most of
that's
the day.
exactly what it's from.
And I don't
It's
ever
'cause
pay
the,
attention to what I'm mixing. It's just kind of like
Amphetamines or whatever, you know.
I figure if it's an over the well, I guess my prescription ones aren't over the counter.
No,
Yeah, I probably ought to think about that more now that I'm getting to be an old.
usually
doctor.
it says contact your doctor before taking multiple medicines.
I'm married to a
Or-
nurse. I feel like she'd let me know.
Or if an erection lasts longer than 4 hours.
What do you got going on?
Well, I tell you what, we played a little. So we're recording this July 25th.
Thursday
So-
night, 9:51 p.m. A
So-
little late start here.
Two things. One, my bride and I had a nice little anniversary dinner tonight. She would tell you it didn't last long enough, which
They always do.
that's about our marriage. So, but it was nice. We went to Mama T's and
Oh, yeah.
they changed the menu on me though a little bit.
Really?
And it just kind of, because I used to like to get the prime rib because they'd bring out that kind of horseradish sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would get the wedges. They had those like Italian wedges. And
Tater wedges?
yeah, they were Italian something on the menu.
Wow.
But they don't have them anymore.
I'm a damn.
And it threw me for a loop. Second thing of it, we played golf league last night. And your boy carded a 42 in competition.
Nice.
So
good for you,
really
pal.
good night. Played, didn't 3 holes that I did not swing the driver. Well, actually, I take that back. I swung a driver on 1, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. 8 was an iron, 9 iron. 8 was an iron, 9 was an iron, 2 and 3,
What'd
and
you
then
hit
7.
on 2?
4 iron. Hit that about 200,
Nice.
210. So yeah, it just I just needed it in competition.
I ordered a grip kit,
Mm,
so I'm officially a
gripper.
gripper guy. So
Yeah.
if you need something, just let me know.
Yeah, Jenna just went down and had a putter gripped in Evansville. the other day.
Well, now I can do it. I got the vice clamp and everything. Let me
Did
know.
she get like a real one of them real fat grips
Real
on there?
girthy bastard like
it's
mine?
Just,
Pool noodle.
No, it's a little wider than a standard grip.
don't
but
call me
not.
girthy grips for nothing.
Did she check your girth and then wanted that for the
Oh,
putter
boy.
length?
Well, that's why we went after girls with small hands.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a turbo. That's a turbo thing there.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
always go
yeah.
after the girls with the small hands.
Yeah.
Makes your unit look like a tuna can.
Wow.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. So what about grip? What were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna buy. Justine's got some like their Wilson LT 1200s. They're old clubs, but they're ping copies, and they're nice irons.
Well, that's what a lot of guys, because I'm swinging them copperheads
Yeah.
from Ping, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Where'd you get those?" And I was like,
I had them for a long time.
my aunt.
Yeah.
it was
So-
a neighbor passed away, and he's like, "I would swing those." If,
Yeah, so I'm
like-
gonna try to. I'm gonna regrip Justine's irons for her because she's been playing quite a bit of golf and stuff, and they're just those old dry rotted. Got the green V's, the old
Yeah.
school ones. So I'm gonna try to get her some more of like a softer, more supple rubber, a little tacky.
Oh yeah, something softer, a little more supple there.
Veiny.
Veiny, yeah, Oh,
big veiny.
boy. Yeah.
Hey, and that ice cold opener was brought to you by our friends at Celebration Ice, because if it's not Celebration Ice, then
F you.
yeah, the ice with attitude.
That ice cold opener was brought to you by our friends at Celebration Ice. Celebration Ice is the official ice utilized by the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. You look in the freezer in Smoker's Lounge, and it's a bag of Celebration Ice. Not only can you get the 7-pound and 20-pound bag at your local gas station, but Celebration does so much more with ice for special events, solid ice blocks, and even dry ice. If your local gas station doesn't carry Celebration Ice, demand it today.
Big thank you to Mark Seibert.
Turns out, guys, he had an absolute rager at his house.
I know.
And I am pissed off that we missed it.
Well, some of that was late messaging there.
Well, I know, but hey, guess what? We have quite the squad, and it's tough for us to just like drop everything and go. You know what I mean? But I think we had some other engagements that we had to take care of. But I got a ton of Snapchats from it and from people that I know that were there. And there was a lot of dancing and live musicking.
Well, those Juice Box Heroes that they brought in, they play up at the resort.
Is that
on
who
like
that
New
was?
Year's Eve.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for them guys.
Way to celebrate.
Awesome, great deal for his wife, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
ringing
it
the
is.
bell and cancer free. Good for
Big fella, what you been wondering about?
Okay, so I kind of had to back my way out of a conversation today. I've been really doing good about. Okay, that's enough. Okay. I've been really.
I didn't know how far I needed to back out.
Like my dad always told me that I needed to think before I speak, and it's got me in trouble a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We were working on some sidewalk in a subdivision in town today, and there was a woman and 3 children, and then I think maybe a babysitter that was out for a stroll. And I'm pretty sure that her husband might listen to the show, which is fine. And I just want to apologize first by saying that was the old mentality. Okay. I'll just leave it at that. Now, moving on. I'll get to what I said, and you guys won't think it's terrible. But she was bringing her kids up to watch us. We had already poured. The concrete was on the ground. We were finishing. I was running the bull float. The 2 other guys were edging, getting the edges roughed in and everything like that. We were just, finishing the concrete. And, we're just looking, and she's like, oh, now they're going to take this and, they're going to get it flat and, work it. And, they're going to make it look pretty, and then they'll take the broom and, blah, blah. She was just explaining to her daughter, which probably, I'm going to guess 8, maybe 8-ish, 7, 8-ish. And she said, oh, she said that, Mommy, I want to be a builder when I get older. The little girl did. And her mom was like, oh yeah, that's great. And all that stuff. At that point, I say, well, just remember, you need to go to college so you can get a big girl job so you don't have to work like we do doing this stuff. Which then at that point, her mother was like, oh, no, Mr. Zach. That's not what we're teaching. We're teaching that you can do whatever makes you happy to make a living or be whatever you want to be when you grow up. She said, because your job's not a bad job, is it? And my boss is standing right there, and I'm like, no.
You're 13-time employee of the month.
Yeah,
you
it's
got a great job.
No, it's a great job. I'm just saying, sometimes it's better to work with your brain and not your.
Would you rather make 100,000 or 50,000?
So therein lies my topic. Would you rather work with? I said, would you rather work with your brain or would you rather work with your back? You know what I mean? And I said, it's always nice to have to work with your brain. Sorry, I was just staring off for a minute. So then that led me to do a little bit of homework.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get your guys' feelings on what you think about this topic in general. But before we go on, we'll just go into the facts of the matter. Now, this is the United States average, okay? In 2022, so that's 2 years post-COVID, 2022, the average annual income of a high school graduate in the United States of America average was around $34,320. Okay. That's just with a high school diploma.
I was going to say 32, but
right. Okay. Now we go over here. Oh, dive bomb! What was that?
Big old beetle right there on your chest.
Still on you, right above your
shit. Fire!
And that got you right on the chest.
The landing gear on that bastard. But it says Now, there again, do they really earn what their degree says they should be making? The average income for a college graduate in the United States is about $60,000 per year. A humanities graduate, what's that mean?
Kind of like a general education, liberal arts.
So a
study
humanities
kinda deal.
graduate earns around $50,000, while those in engineering, computer science degrees earn around $75,000 a year. Okay, so obviously, if you're going to go to college,
There's select majors that you want to major in, and
let's just say,
creative writing.
what do you think? What do you think it is? Like, would you say 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10 that you're going to make more money if you're college educated versus?
No.
Okay, and that's what I was hoping you were going to chime in for. Okay, and this is where we got a few minutes to debate here, but my question is, when I graduated high school, I had absolutely no intentions of going to college. None. Zero. And my thought was, I hated school. Why the hell would I go to more school to try to basically just waste more money? You know, because I wanted to go straight to work and start making money. So I did, and I really lucked out and just fell into a really, really awesome opportunity. And I'm very grateful for those that helped me out with it, you know, and I was able to make substantially way more money than any 16 or 18-year-old kid should have been making at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so there again, one more fact, and then we can get debating here. Student loans can make a college education more accessible, but they can also be a heavy burden on graduates or dropouts and their families. The average student loan for a bachelor's degree recipient was around $29,400 in the 2021-22 school year, according to the College Board. Among all borrowers, the average balance is closer, in fact, to $38,787, according to the 2023 data from Experian, one of the 3 national credit bureaus. So with that being said, my question for you is, after 4 years, 5 if you take the victory lap, of lost income, plus on average, let's just say $40,000 due to the inflation rate or what kids are probably dealing with now. You know, you're 4 or 5 years lost income plus 40 grand in the hole for going to school. And then you take that money and try to recoup that while making, let's just say what did we say the average was for a college education? 60 grand maybe, but you're not going to make that day one, are you? Maybe
Depends on what the degree is.
Yeah. You're right.
And
So-
you can't just say it's doctorate, because I've known some people have got advanced degrees that aren't working anywhere because they haven't found something that fits their chakra or something. So now they've
I
got
totally agree.
a decade's worth of.
You would not believe how many college-educated coal miners I worked with over the years. Like people with education degrees, people with, whatever degrees. Like literally people that went to college for 4 years and ended up coming out and pushing rock in a big hole in the ground, just like me. You know what I mean? So with that being said, this lady saying that to her child, you know, like it made me think like, oh God, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe that old adage of you got to go to college, you know what I mean? Because like back in the day when we were going to school, you had to. That was something that they beat down our necks. Like you got to go to college. You know, and everything like that. It's just like I thought I was screwed by not going to college, but you two are both college educated individuals, and you two obviously have way better jobs. Like I shouldn't say better jobs, but maybe I don't know how you say that. Like I really like my job. It's not a bad job, but you make obviously substantially more money than I do, and same as you. But where is that balance? Like where is that? Like how do you figure? What's your take on this?
I mean, I probably am on the spectrum of probably overeducated.
Right.
I mean, I have a doctorate degree, working on a master's degree.
Right.
Obviously, I have a bachelor's degree.
Right.
So at the table, I've probably got the most paper hanging on the wall, but I also have a pretty big student loan amount.
Right.
I was blessed that my parents helped out a lot.
For sure. Sure.
But I think for me, I knew what I was getting into and I knew what I was going to do. So like, it doesn't bother me. The student loan debate and the college or not college debate that bothers me is these people that go get a creative writing degree or, like you talked about that general studies thing. Like you just went to
Humanities
college
or
for
whatever.
4 years to do that. I think though, the way Janelle and I look at it, because obviously she's got a doctorate of veterinary medicine or whatever they call it, that I don't think there's any pressure on our children to do any of that stuff.
Right.
I will say that shout out Papa Frank, like he grew up working the back-breaking blue collar. He's laying under a D9 fixing
Kind of the
something
same
in
shit that I'm doing
January.
now. Yeah.
The guy hates the cold. He's had 3 back surgeries.
Yep.
He's had 2 knee replacements.
Right.
A bunch of that other stuff. And I can remember him just, living that lifestyle, and he didn't want it to do. That's why I am so unmechanically inclined. I was going to say mechanically declined, but I don't think that's the right word.
I think
because
that's-
he didn't want us doing that stuff.
I think that's where I'm at too. You know what I mean? Like I know I am a fat bastard, but like after having, 5 knee surgeries, an ankle surgery, all this shit, I don't know. Like I just much,
But like
much rather see
all those
my
boys, like it turned out different. Like Chris he's got a good gig with the Y, and he's got a master's degree.
right.
Corey went to school. Corey would be your example.
Yeah.
He went 4-year degree, and he's got a good gig with Steiny there at Steinkamp's.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
shout out Steinkamp's Home Center. We always have a spot for you here at
Come on
Smokers
board.
Lounge.
Come on board.
And then me with like what I do, but I'm using my degree. Like but I would say that there's days where I wish I was pouring concrete. There's days that I wish I was framing something in. Like I loved working construction,
Right.
but that mental strain is a son of a bitch.
Well, yeah.
And I get that the physical part of it can be tough, but you probably have those days where you come home
Yeah. What do you think, Smoke?
and your brain is just mush. And it's a tough thing. That's why I love mowing grass. That's why I love just vegging out sometimes or going to coach, because it just
Yep.
the escape.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not going to tell my kids they got to go to college. They're going to have a plan. I wasn't going to go to college. I had an apprenticeship worked out at a tool shop in town.
That's right.
that went
that-
to shit.
that
So
went
then
away,
it was
yeah.
like, oh, well, okay. Well, I graduate high school allegedly here in a semester and a half. So
Wait,
got
are you
on
saying
down
you
there.
didn't graduate high school? Are we going to have to
No.
investigate? Oh,
I did. I wasn't completely sure if I was going to at the time. I was no great student. I just didn't give a shit to be there.
No.
Didn't want to go to college either because it seemed like a waste. But I'm glad I did. I learned a lot there. Not college stuff, like just
Life.
Yeah,
Life.
Yeah. Just being down there and figuring it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. My kids aren't going to have to go to college, but they need to tell me they're going to do something. I don't want them just to be like leeches or something.
Right. I think he hit a really good one too. Like things that I'm always like very envious of like my wife and you guys and friends that went to college and shit. It's like I feel like I always joke that I went to IU for 5 years and never went to a single class, but I didn't live there.
Yeah.
I didn't have to figure it out. I still lived with my parents and I still did all that shit. I didn't move out till I was probably, I think I was 19 or 20, you know what I mean, when I moved out, And living in small town Huntingburg or small town USA is definitely not the
Yeah, but
same
you
as
got
living in a dorm in a college town.
Yeah, but you got
But you know what I'm
got some
saying.
of those great stories of nights spent at the overtime and different things like that. Like,
Right. But I'm just saying, like, you miss out on certain things by, like if you're a commuter in college. I mean, I went to college, but I commuted the whole time. And everyone's like,
that's
what a
nothing.
loser. You know what I mean? But,
and I'll
you know
say-
what I mean?
I'll say this though, some of like why I'm invested, like Janelle's like, why would you want to go back and get your MBA? And I'm like, some of it is somebody else is paying for it, which is the first time in the history of me getting educated. But like some of it is too, is like I want to better myself for the long run.
Yeah.
Like I mean, Janelle's fortunate. She's out of student loan debt. I'm not. Some of that is probably, going to UE and private education. And I loved it. I couldn't have gone to IU. Like I would have not made it. I would have been, I was a degenerate enough.
Yeah.
But like the small class size when you walked in and it was the same 15 kids, 20 kids, that's probably good for me. But I think like for me, it's not necessarily like if you break your life down into decades, like the 20s and 30s and 40s are probably all about digging out of that hole.
Exactly.
For my 50s and 60s to be set up great to then be able to retire, maybe. I mean, retire is a falsehood anyways. There's going to be no Social Security force anyways. Maybe for Dave because he's close to that, a lot closer than us. But, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but if I wanted to work till I was 80, I'm in a profession where I can. There was an old attorney out of Warwick County named Burley Scales. And he may still practice law. But the last time I saw that son of a bitch, he was probably 84, 85 years old. But mind was still sharp as a tack. Went into the office every day to drink coffee and read the paper in his office. But I don't know. Like, I think the duality of it is if let's say Ryan comes home and says, "Hey, Dad, I want to be in the HVAC world, or I want to be an electrician." Awesome. What can I do to help you with it? And pick up that trade because, there's a lot of guys.
Right.
You go and look at, Hayes Heating and Air, sponsor of this show.
Right.
He started out doing that. He's got his boy on. He's got the Lauderdale boy on there now. Yep. Next thing you know, he's growing his business. Right. And he, but kind of like your apprenticeship, you learn from somebody and then you say, I can go do this on my own. And then you learn how to run a business and then you build a business. You look at the other ones around us, RG Mechanical, machine work, a lot of those businesses are doing really, really well. And it started out with that 2-year or whatever that program is. I know it's a long one, but
And I think that's some things that like in the past, especially with me, like they didn't push that trade school stuff. They was just, you got to go to college. Like you got to go get your associate's degree. You got to get your bachelor's
But that's
degree.
why we have the student loan debt crisis.
Exactly.
Not just like per individual, but as a country.
Yeah. But nowadays, I feel like there are more and more kids that are going to trade schools, that are going straight into workforce, that are doing all this shit. And I think it's good.
Well, I will applaud.
Richmond did well at that. Richmond High School. We had a lot of industry local at the time, so the vocational program there was real
huge.
strong.
Yeah.
The only reason the apprenticeship fell through was the economy and the government stopped funding it. It wasn't like anything,
because
but they pushed it well, and that's why it was so easy to get in down at VU because there was a relationship between the program I was in.
Kind of like a feeder deal.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I will applaud our school district because I've gone to present scholarship there. And they recognize those folks that have, going into the military, going into the job. And I think bravo. Like, not everybody's meant to go to college. I'll say this. Not everybody's meant to go to high school.
Yeah.
If you could learn basic, financial literacy and be able to read and write and sign your own name and stuff, and you get to be 16 and you want to go into the workforce, by God, why do you force 2 or 3 more years of education on kids that don't need to go do it?
No.
And that's my view of it. You could say I'm wrong, but if you had a chance to go to work when you were 16 and not have to deal with some teacher trying to read you Macbeth or some other British literature thing.
Yeah, what the does this make any sense to do with the price of wheat in China? You know what I mean? I have no idea why I need to read this shit.
That's the thing.
But there again, it's how... And I mean, it's controversial stuff, but the career, not what do you call it, the curriculum path, and all these, talking heads in the state house and this education board and all this stuff. They see this is what you need to do to be the best that you can be. You know what I mean? And that's fine.
Yeah,
that's great and grand. But for me, in my situation, if it wasn't for my wife and me passing my English 12 final, I wouldn't have graduated high school. I would have had to go to Dale Alternative, a bunch of other my buddies, and get my GED and literally go straight back into the job that I was going to go into anyway. You know what I mean? So I think I felt when I said that that was an old adage that was always a thing for me. Like my old man always told me, you know, you need to work with your brain and not your back. And that was always a thing. But nowadays, I feel that woman was right. You know what I mean? I feel like
I've met lots of people that pretty smart on paper and can't change a car battery.
Amen.
That's scary too.
Amen.
I feel like you're attacking me. I can change a car battery. I'm kidding.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like there's a lot more opportunity for kids to learn the more important shit as opposed to going to college for 5 years and learning about just one thing. Does that make sense?
Well, and some of that will change over time as the trades and other things become like more important and schools focus on that.
Well, they're becoming, I don't want to, glamorous is definitely not the word, but it was looked down upon, I feel like, a long time, like a trade. But
exactly right.
Now there's people out there that are like, well, how in the heck's this guy driving a $120,000 truck and living in a house like that? Well,
Amen.
Because he knows his shit, and not too many people know that shit.
Yeah, and he works.
So I
his
think
balls
it's, and
off
it just,
to get
I think we've just backed ourselves in that corner by pushing too hard one way. The student loan thing, the numbers you were talking about, I bet it is only $26,000, $27,000 a year. The problem is everybody goes to school, and the financial institutions will allow you to take so much more than you need, and now you have all these young people that don't need just a big wad of cash handed to them when there's nothing to do but drink it away.
Exactly.
And then they get living this lifestyle, not thinking about, okay, well, so this lifestyle here, I'm making it on $4,000 every 6 months or semester, whatever extra money, but you're not paying for insurance, you're not paying for electric, gas, water,
cell phone,
car insurance, the whole thing. Mom and dad's still covering that. So you start living on this, getting used to probably a $70,000, $80,000 a year lifestyle, and to get out and think, oh shit,
yeah,
I'm really only making 38 to 45,000, but half of that's gone because of the extravagant life I was living.
Mm-hmm. Well, and a lot of that's that financial literacy we talked about. And there's a CLE going on up at the resort, advanced gaming issues. And the guy that was in talking about it, and some of our educators that watch and listen to the show, but I think Indiana just mandated to graduate, you have to pass a financial literacy class. So I think the class of 2028 will be the first ones that have had that education that requires them to do that. And
I took business math with Mr. Oxley.
Oh, Mr. Oxley.
Yeah,
is he still alive?
Yeah, hell yeah. I seen him just the other day. We had to balance a checkbook, do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was very influential.
Yeah. I get it. Like,
What the hell was that class? We had to take a class and basically had to say what you wanted your life to be. Like what you wanted to be when you grew up.
Yeah.
It might have been, but like with that, you had to find a vehicle, and like this was when the internet was new still.
Oh.
And you had to go out and like find quotes and then insurance quotes, and then, okay, what size house do you think you need? What size family you're going to have? And then find that median income of that career path and find out how dicked you were.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Kind of that life skills like that. Yeah. I tell you what, if you go back to talking about changing a car battery, God bless my father, because he allows, I was a very good flashlight holder, but then when it got to the point where it was time for you to start doing some of that stuff, I'm lucky he didn't beat me with a wrench, because he would have been more than able to, he would have had more than justifiable cause to do that. So, but like my dad, he's a good one. I tell you what, that guy has learned to do a lot of different things by just doing it. And kids don't, we've talked about it before, like kids that are tinkerers or work on stuff and do some of those things. Like he never went to some, diesel mechanic class. Like, he learned by watching somebody else or, kind of working through the problem. And he would have been a great engineer or architect, like just being able to see that big picture. But yeah, it's interesting.
That's what had me wondering.
It's a pretty deep wonder.
I know. It's a good one.
And we went deep in the waters on that one.
What you got, big guy?
The Olympics start. The opening ceremony starts tomorrow. And I just was kind of wondering about, we've talked about the Olympics a little bit. I think we have before, but I read an interesting article that there's more and more people protesting
Oh,
the hosting of these games by cities. So I guess Los Angeles is supposed to host in 2028, and they're talking about how many billions of dollars that it's going to take to put these games on.
you got to build the Olympic Village.
And what they're talking about is, could you imagine what you could do that for local folks with that kind of money instead of hosting the games? And they were talking about how when they bid these games to do it, like the spending that they do is so over budget and so outrageous that it just continues to grow and get bigger. I forget how much money they say the London games lost. And they used to point to tourism, that it would bring people in. But a lot of it turned out that a lot of people avoided London for tourism back in 2020. So we're 2024. So 2020 was Tokyo, right?
That sounds right.
2016 was London, maybe. So 2020 in Tokyo, I think, actually happened in 21 or 2 because of COVID. But they were talking about it doesn't actually do anything. And so now more and more of these cities, there's more protest of don't host, because you're going to dump a bunch of money onto the taxpayers that are going to foot the bill and really not see anything out of it outside of the inconvenience. So I guess the Olympics, if there's a favorite summer Olympic or an Olympic memory that you have or anything Olympic wise, but then also wondering like your thoughts on, is there a way where the future of the Olympics actually probably doesn't happen based on countries in these cities saying, we're just not going to do it? Or it becomes on a rotating cycle basis. You'll do like an Asian, a Europe, United States, South America, Australia, like kind of have one centralized place, and then, they just rotate them every how many years or whatever. I don't know. Just Olympic
just
topics.
Take away from the fanfare of it and get back to what it's supposed to be, which is just an athletic competition that you can probably do at any high school. Already paid for by the John Q. taxpayer facility.
Well, now some of the stuff, like in the summer games, you could do a lot of that, but like in the winter games, it'd be pretty tough to do.
They actually
you're
say
not going to do that in Arizona, but maybe you just do it up there in Canada and let the old Queenie get her money there.
But they actually say the Winter Olympics is cheaper to do than what the summer is, because a lot of where they go for these Winter Olympics, they already have the facilities.
That's what I'm saying. But they exist out there. It's just
Yeah.
everybody wants to bring in the tourism. But
Wow.
What's up?
So Google says the latest estimates put the Paris Olympics and the Paralympics budget. So does that mean that is there a Paralympics going
Right
on?
after the Olympic Games.
Okay, so they're
Like the
both
2 weeks after, I think it's like immediately after they do the closing ceremony.
so they're
they'll
both
do the Paralympics.
So they're both in Paris, I was assuming.
Yes. They killed two birds with one
Right?
stone.
The latest estimates put that these Olympics, their budget for facilities and operations are roughly $9.7 billion. That would make these Olympics less expensive than London, which was holy shit. London was $16.8 billion.
Yeah.
Rio was $23.6 billion, and Tokyo was over $13.7 billion. This is 2 days ago. This article.
And you know what amazes me?
That's
Like,
insane.
A lot of these things where these facilities are built, like all these organizations that take the social justice stand, don't realize that these facilities are built by slave labor. And the
Wasn't it
stuff that
one-
goes on with those things, like
Which one was it in Rio? Was it the Rio one that all the athletes were just bitching that it was just straight trash, like it was a dump? Like it was,
down there, yeah.
was it Rio?
Yeah, Rio.
Because that was they were getting like they were getting sick because the water was shit. Like their
Well,
infrastructure.
that's like in that river where they're going to do that
Yeah.
open water swim. Like they're basically swimming through sewer water.
Yikes!
And like the mayor got in the water to prove that it was
Yeah.
good. Like, because I think it was one of them.
no, that's not a fish in your snorkel.
Yeah.
That's a shit turd in your snorkel.
that's exactly what it is.
Egats.
You got a favorite summer Olympic sport?
I haven't watched the Olympics in ages.
What was that?
And it's all the allergy medicine.
Olympics.
But growing up, I feel like Is gymnastics winter or summer?
Summer.
Yeah.
Okay, we watched gymnastics.
What was her
at the
name?
House.
What was her name?
I don't know. Short-haired
Carrie.
gal. No. Yeah, Carrie.
She broke her ankle?
Yeah, doing
on the
flip-
vault?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one.
dude. I watched it too.
But then also, Mom watched a lot of ice skating, the figure skating. Mark Hamill?
Greg
Was that-
Louganis?
No, Greg Louganis was the driver. That's
No, Mark Hamill or John Hamill.
Greg
He was definitely.
Greg Louganis.
He was definitely an ice skater guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Mark's. No, I want to say Mark Scott,
I'm
but that's
pretty
not
sure
right.
it's Hamill.
Mark Hamill is the actor from Star Wars, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Then it's John Hamill. It's something like that.
Well, old Googler machine over there will figure it out.
I'm still trying to find the gymnast.
Carrie.
Hammond.
Was it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So would
Simone
you-
Biles is the big one now.
So, are you a bigger fan of the Winter or Summer Olympics?
I'm really kind of middle of the road on it.
I'm all in on winter.
I'm a big winter. More, I like the Winter Olympic Games more because bobsled, luge, skeleton, like some of the skiing stuff is okay.
Carrie Strug.
That's it.
That was her. This little bobtailed little gal here. She
I remember thinking the whole team was pretty good looking gals
And
there
then-
on the American team.
Yeah,
bracket.
but-
Was it like 96 or 8?
son of a gun.
96 was in Atlanta. That might have been 92.
No, that's 96 then. It was Atlanta probably.
Where is Carrie Strug? Oh yeah, how 92. It was 92.
Okay.
in Barcelona.
Yeah. She this is probably one of the most iconic pictures I think I ever remember out of Carrie. It was 96, guys. I'm so sorry. Where was Carrie Strug now? I look at her life and career of Olympics since their stars since 1996 Summer Games. But it was with her coach.
The guy's name's like Doug or something like that.
Now this says Bella something.
Jenna agrees with you, Bella something.
Bella Caroli. Bella Caroli.
He wasn't from around these parts.
Yeah, no, he was carrying her off the deal there.
We gave him citizenship to come coach gymnastics.
Is that what it was?
Probably a Russian defector.
Yeah.
Probably a
Communist defector.
KGB guy, probably.
Well, that would have been
Lucky
fall
him.
of communism was what, early 90s?
I don't know. Really
Somewhere-
wild deal.
somewhere around there?
So Summer Olympics for me. Hey, let me see that nickel here. Let's just put it right there. The Summer Olympics for me, I don't know. Like I'm probably like a more of a. I like diving, like swimming and diving and shit like that. Like Michael Phelps and the
Katie Ledecky?
Ledecky and
Or
like
who's
that.
the local girl?
Yeah, whatever her name was. I can't-
Lily?
Lily King. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all those swimming stuff, the diving shit's pretty cool. And then like I don't know, you go old school track like the hammer throw and the javelin and stuff like that.
You just like some of them East German women tossing out a hammer.
Bernice with the old unibrow there. Sha'Carri Richardson, I'm really going to be pulling hard for her.
I bet you
Because
are.
any chick that can burn a doob and still run like a I don't know
Bat out of hell.
Jesus Christ, she's scary fast and still can smoke the reefers.
I
you know what I
think-
mean. I think she's all in my book.
I like from the summer games. We were talking about it today. I like the race walking because it's such a wild thing to watch them do that. Because oh my gosh!
Have
have
you
to
ever
watch them.
seen? Okay, so I'll talk about it more on Friday, but I went to a concert on Sunday night, and there was a particular artist that was opening for this show that I was just totally random why this person was there, but he has a song called "Tiptoeing in My Jordans." Like it's a rap song, and he's a white feller. And there's so many memes on the internet that have dubbed that song over the race walking.
Yeah,
And it's probably some of the funniest shit you ever seen in your
yeah.
life. We'll
But
have to
I
go
like
check that out.
watching boxing. Like I'll catch a boxing match.
I guess I didn't realize they boxed in the Olympics.
Yeah, boxing, and then like some of the stuff you don't watch a ton, like the wrestling. Like some of those guys get after it.
Yeah, that's cool.
The all the shooting, some of the shooting sports is pretty cool because that's you think about you shooting a gun and then you realize like they do it like 10 out of 10 times.
That winner, shooting, the biathlon shit, man, oh man, that stuff's nuts.
How you can calm your heart rate down to shoot straight.
Yeah.
But I don't like in the Olympics, like they're doing breakdancing as an Olympic sport.
What?
That's dumb to me.
Yeah, well, whatever tickles your pickle.
Yeah.
Isn't ping pong an Olympic sport, or is that not a thing anymore?
No, I
Let's
think it
talk
is.
more ping pong.
Yep.
You ever heard that?
We just all did.
Well, it's from Christopher Walken.
Ping pong, badminton, fencing. Dave, you strike me as a big fencing guy.
Nah, I don't know. I'm not very quick. I need a heavier sword. I can go strong out of the gate, but the
Oh my God! You should see this list.
Oh boy.
Ay caramba! 3-on-3 basketball, archery, artistic gymnastics, artistic swimming, athletics, BMX racing, badminton, basketball, beach volleyball, boxing, breaking,
Beach volleyball. That's the breakdancing.
canoe slalom, canoe sprint, diving, equestrian, fencing, freestyle BMX, golf, handball, hockey, judo,
there's an Olympic golf team.
Yeah,
Yep.
Xander Schauffele was the Olympic champion.
marathon swimming, modem pentathlon.
Modern pentathlon.
It's totally modern. Yep.
Yep.
Mountain biking, rhythm gymnastics. Ooh, rhythmic gymnastics.
Jazzercise.
Road cycling, rowing, rugby sevens, sailing, shooting, skateboarding, soccer, sport climbing, surfing, swimming, table tennis, taekwondo, tennis, track cycling, trampolining, triathlon, volleyball, water polo, weightlifting, and wrestling.
How do you judge trampolining?
I don't know.
Hey, look how high I could jump.
No shit. You think they got the two dudes that are like
Bouncing the one in the
Yep.
middle?
You think
Probably.
they got the turbo bouncers?
It's a big
too?
old love fest.
Oh god.
Man, I bet we could bounce a little guy pretty high.
Oh,
Well, I think
good
I saw
God. Could
something-
you imagine if we had one of them blobs like on heavyweights?
That would be awesome.
Jeez Louise. You imagine how we could send Will Billy to the moon if we could on that
I'd like to
bastard.
see him again. So.
Yeah.
I saw something on TikTok, like the Olympic surfing in 2024 was
Oh
going to
my
be.
Gosh.
Olympic surfing is in Tahiti.
You ought to see all of the people.
It's the Paris Games, but they're surfing in Tahiti.
Is Tahiti part of that? Are they like a, you know how we are with Puerto Rico?
A French colony.
There you go.
You ought to see the list of
don't know.
countries that are involved in this games.
Most of them.
I'm not reading them all.
I think that's what
'Cause
makes it the Olympics.
I've scrolled like 40 times.
They need to just get everybody to throw some money together. Here's what they need to do.
It goes all the way from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe.
Yep, all of them. They need to take all that money they've been spending, put it all in there together, and they need to just. Greece was hurting for money. They need to just get the old the
original
and
Olympics
all built
in the
back
cathedral?
up. There you go.
Coliseum.
Coliseum. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, they need to get that all jazzed back up and just do the Olympics there every year. You know,
How long?
under Zeus's watchful
How
eye.
long was the Olympics? I wonder how long they used to be. Like just a couple days, a couple months. I mean,
I bet it was a couple months because I imagine you had folks taking 3 months to get there.
yeah, you're right.
You know, walking.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
That I've just now noticed. Are your irises not completely round?
I don't know. It might be all the allergy medicine.
Either that or I'm tripping balls, but it looks like your black circles on your eyes are not completely round.
They might not be.
They look a little oblongy. Wild.
Might be
I'll take
hives.
one of those, Miss Mama Smoke. One of the
I will
old.
too. Maybe that'll straighten my eye.
Now, are
people
you
out.
drinking that hard Mountain Dew, you dirty devil?
French
You can
Polynesian.
have it. That shit's gross.
So it is a colony of.
So there was
French
five.
Polynesian. Yeah, so Polynesians are French.
There was five sites under French jurisdiction
Jurisdiction?
applied to host Olympic surfing: Barats, La Canal, Les Landes, La Torche, and Tehopoho. All but Tehopoho are in
I
France
love
proper.
whenever he reads shit like that.
And all
then,
those in
like, tries
France
to pick
proper,
up
but
their
La Torche are in the southwest of the country specifically.
Torche. Guys, I'm all in on the Olympics. I'm definitely more of a winter guy, but I mean, if it's on TV on the summer stuff, I'll probably watch it.
I'll say this, as a young lad growing up, watching the opening games and America stroll in like we owned it.
Isn't Snoop Dogg leading in some people, or is that just fake news on the internet? I heard he was like carrying the flag in front of the.
That's LeBron James.
No, Snoop Dogg.
Okay. I support that.
It might be fake news, but there's something about him being there, and he's going to like lead the something team into the.
My late grandparents on the Masoner side went to the Atlanta ones.
Seen old Kerry Strug break that ankle.
Yeah. Well, no.
I bet
mean, they just
somebody-
went to like the village or like the park or whatever. They didn't go to like the.
I wonder which son of a bitch told her to break a leg before she went.
Oh.
Speaking of that, remember Nancy Kerrigan and what's her?
Nancy Kerrigan and
Tanya Harding. That
yeah.
bitch got sliced with a damn skate.
No,
Yeah.
she got clubbed with a lead pipe.
Yeah.
Well, didn't
Billy
one of them-
clubbed her.
Didn't
think
one of
you're
them
thinking
slice
of
of his skate? Tanya Harding and
No, Tanya Harding beat Nancy Kerrigan's knee, so she couldn't.
Well, I think she had it beat, right? She didn't
Yeah,
actually
she
do
had
it.
it,
She
yeah.
had somebody go in and club her during practice.
raw footage. Yeah, never mind. There was
she was
no
leaning on the rail.
no skate slicing, just an old
like,
Billy.
my knee, my
and they were like
knee.
the same. They were both on the same country, right?
Yeah, they're both.
Yeah,
they-
Tanya and Nancy.
Nancy
were
was
both
the-
Americans.
was the favorite when Tanya did the old beating.
I'll beat you with this bitch stick. I guarantee you ain't winning no gold. Smoke Dragon,
shoot.
what have you been thinking about, bud?
Hives, and I just want them to go away.
Yeah, so
You guys get hives? You got
no,
any allergies?
I've never had him. I don't think I've ever had him.
I had. There was I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a laundry detergent at one point where something, but I had broken out in them. But my mother had gotten me some steroids, and that helped a lot. Although the steroids made me jittery, but not to the extent like you're talking about.
Oh, it's rough.
That's nuts. So, like, you're talking big ass bulbous hives.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
They all end up kind of connecting together.
Kind of like a road map.
Mm-hmm. And then it's only happened once where like my eyes start swelling and my
That's a
mouth
tough
and
spot.
lips. That's why we got an EpiPen now.
Do you really?
Am I allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We just the imaginary
Found
EpiPen.
found an imaginary one.
Found
Fell
it
off
at
a
the
truck.
park. Yeah, found it at the park.
Was this 258?
7.
Okay. Yeah. So I know a guy, buddy, Casey's big buddy from Washington that he's never met, Mr. John Rodage.
Oh, John.
He is deathly allergic to beans.
All
I think we've
beans.
talked about this. Yeah.
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think we have.
Did we not? Okay,
No.
so like cocoa beans,
Green beans? Oh, no.
baked beans, kidney beans, navy beans, coffee beans, anything. If he goes to a buffet, if we go to Stoll's Lakeview restaurant to eat, and if they put the green beans are here, he can't eat one pan. He has to stay one pan away from the beans. So if you get the mac and cheese or the mashed potatoes, shit out of luck. Can't do it. Just for fear that if somebody took the bean spoon and served their whatevers with it and then put it back in the bean pot.
Well, how does he get his
Now,
fiber?
do you have a tick on your face? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it is.
I'll be damned. I seen that baby coming.
Where in the hell did that come from?
God dang, you got.
Beatles, what a fucking shithole
Maybe
here,
this is why I
Dave.
got hives.
Will you take it?
I don't. Why, what do you want me to do? It. I don't want
Put it
friggin'.
on the goddamn.
Oh,
I don't want Lyme disease.
me
Well,
neither.
speaking of allergic, he'll make you not eat meat. Put it right there.
Shit.
Put it right there.
Oh, I don't want to ruin the Kringle.
Well, we're gonna eat the Kringle.
Okay.
Here, put it on your knife blade and I'll torch his ass. Oh.
That had a little crunch.
Uh-oh. That means
Now,
he
if
had a
you
little-
got the white star thing on them, I can't.
A Lone Star tick.
So those are the ones that'll make you allergic to meat. We've got a family member.
alpha gal. That's what Hornets got it.
Fish and feathers. I mean, scales and fins and feathers.
Anything with a cloven hoof, you can't eat it.
I
well,
wonder where that came
no,
from.
that's not
Your
true.
face.
Well, I know.
What do you
felt it,
mean?
but
When
It's
Shirley
not
had,
just
when
clothes
Shirley,
and her cousins. Anything that breastfeeds,
a mammal.
she can't eat anything that breastfeeds.
so is Shirley
Name
over
one
his?
thing. Name one thing that we eat that doesn't have a cloven hoof that breastfeeds.
Horses,
We don't eat horse meat.
you could.
Good.
Yeah, but we don't.
Okay. Rabbits.
Rabbits breastfeed?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you think they fed them?
I didn't know rabbits had tits. I thought they just come straight out of the. Now he's got the crawlies. You better get that hat back on before these cameras blow up. You're awful shiny tonight, son of a bitch. You shaved today?
Fresh shave this
I
morning.
imagine. Good gravy. So
Squirrels.
I get now squirrel tits.
Squirrels.
Oh, squirrel
I'll be
tits.
damn. I never thought of that way. Josh
on.
said when he went to the doctor, they told him it was anything.
That's where almond milk comes from.
Almond milk.
Gets all the nuts.
Look at that one. That's a good one. I don't think I've ever had full blown hives. Now the warden, she's
Hold on.
had them
Can we get
before.
back to Shirley? Is he over his beet allergy?
Yes.
So what did he do to get over it?
Just kept trucking and got sick. Just kept going.
That's the American way to do it.
That I mean, I know 2 people that have done that and just kept trucking.
We may know the same of the other ones.
Spud.
Yeah.
So they had it bad, and like he just kept going. Now it depends on your level of allergy to it, like how bad you got it, like the number wise, I guess. But like, there's other people that if you have alpha gal and you eat a cheeseburger, like it could be like game over. Like you're going to need that imaginary
Heavy pen.
go juice in
Epinephrine.
your leg or something. But
That's so Sigma.
yeah, that's totally mid, bitch. Like
What does
I
that
would
mean?
No, cap.
I don't know. He
No
said
cap.
alpha gal, and
No
I was
cap.
thinking Sigma.
So back on topic here. After we've destroyed that tick on Casey's face that probably just unattached himself from your shiny ass head, I don't like. I think the
You want to
worst.
check me for ticks,
I
big boy?
can. I can.
shiny
It's
ass.
probably we're gonna need to look at your genitals. I mean, that's usually where they go,
The old
or your
gentle.
armpits. Armpits and genitals is the 2 hot spots for males. I've had a tick on my nuts before, 100%.
I've had one on my pecker once.
On your penis or your scrot?
Yeah.
On your scrot.
No,
kind of
I've
in between.
Right there on the base.
I've had
the base
one.
of the shaft.
I've had one right there on
Yeah.
the bad boy.
yeah. On
Now,
your
see,
on
my
your unit,
grandma
on your
always-
penis itself. Yeah.
Whenever we had ticks as kids, Grandma would get a needle or like a safety pin and
Get
a
it real
mat,
hot.
so it'd let go because she always said if you try to rip it off and that head stays in there,
You're fucked.
you'll get the Lyme
Screwed, I
disease.
mean.
So I called Jenna asking for a safety pin or something where she would hide such because she wasn't here. So I got that effort cherry hot, and I'm a big guy, guys. Like there's
It's tough to see that area sometimes.
Yeah,
Did you hover over a mirror or?
Well, by a mirror, but then you got the left is the right. Next thing you know, I darn near gave myself
boy.
one of them.
One of them
Jacob's
sear marks.
Jacob's ladder or a,
Well, yeah, that's how you pierced ears back in the day. Hot safety pin and a potato. I was a potato away from barbelling that bad boy.
Oh boy.
Then I put
got a
tried
self-
some mint extract
Yeah.
or something and
yeah. Alcohol and a cotton ball usually work too.
thinning the skin down there, boys.
Yeah, but anyway,
Gotta watch them ticks.
Yeah. I
I
guess
with
they're
a
real.
fuzzy feller.
I guess they're real bad in the Northeast.
they're real bad everywhere, really, I think. Like I don't
That's why there's songs about them.
yeah. Well, check you for dicks.
Oh, I got no. I can't go there.
Anyway,
How does Bub ever get checked for ticks now? Thinking about the conversation he had that with his backside all fuzzy and nobody's ever allowed to see it. Remember that? God dang, he'd never get checked.
you got a guy, but you got a buddy with a furry ass that he won't.
Yeah,
let
but he don't let like his missus was talking about it how she's never really seen it because he's real like particular about not.
That's weird.
self-conscious about his ass sweater.
I just get the mirror out and I just check. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't look. I just feel.
I bet you do.
I mean, my nut sack. Like when I wash it,
Oh, okay.
like I feel for ticks and other.
and testicular
Yes, and
growths.
lumps and things
You
like
need
that.
to do that.
I do. I do every time I wash my shit.
Yeah. Every time.
Every time. Yeah. Because I have a cyst on my one ball. It's been there since I was like 14 or 15, 16.
Like kind of away from everything else. Like it. Just
I've had it ultrasound. And
Does it
stuff
seem like
that.
a third nut?
No, it's just like a, like your balls are like almond shape or like egg oval.
Yeah.
Well, mine's just got like a little thump, like off the one side of it.
Like can it easily tell? Like when you check.
100%. Yeah. Same size, same thing, same texture.
Maybe your just testicle kind of grew a little wonky.
I have no idea. I mean, I went to a dick doc and I got it.
The Dick Doc on
urologist?
TikTok.
Hey, it's Dr. Something on the dick doc on TikTok.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I went and had a it ultrasounded.
Yeah.
I told you that story where they told me to take this small hand towel and flop your penis up on your belly and then.
Oh, I thought that was when you had the.
The same thing.
Did you warn the doc about it that you had a growth on your nut before he cut you open?
I mean, that's why I was there.
You should have had him like lob that off when he.
Oh, no. I mean, like when I was at the. Did you just do that?
He's a world-class
Air dicker. I was. No, like I found this on my nut and then I freaked out and I told my dad and everything. And then he's like, like I said, my dad one of his coworkers' son actually passed away from testicular cancer.
Oh, really?
At a very young age.
I was talking to somebody at work who's got a friend whose boy.
I had a friend that had testicular cancer and had to do some like targeted radiation and shit like that. And ended up everything. I mean, he's got kids and everything. It worked out in his favor, but like, it's nothing to around with. So PSA, check your nuts and check them. Check them and check them often.
Check him.
Liberty Mutual Testing Supplies. Wilford Brimley says, check it and check it often. But I went to the doctor to get my ultrasound done on my testicular nut.
My testicular nut.
I was going to say nodule. The cyst there. And they told me to flop my penis up on my belly and cover it with this towel, and then that way.
Did you just tell him you didn't have that much to work with?
Exactly what I said. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be completely open."
I can tuck her under the mud flap if you want.
Yeah, I said I'm going to be completely open and honest with you here. Like I don't really, my penis is not long enough to flop up there like that. Like I'm not much of a flopper guy. I'm a grower, not a shower.
Who the hell do you guys see all the time? That's the advice you give.
I don't know who these long dong bastards you're in here nutting around with, but mine ain't like that. But no, when I had my vasectomy, he had to tape it out of the way. Yeah, he's like, "Well, go ahead and tape this out of the way. Doc don't need to mess with this guy." It's exactly what this woman told me. I was so up on Valium, I wouldn't have cared if she taped a sumbitch to my eyelid. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered to me. But anyway, back on the old
now, was
hives.
your nut cyst on the same side of your body your ankle cyst was on?
I don't know. I'd have to check real quick.
You don't have to do it now. I'm just curious.
I don't want to
Maybe
get my ball juice all over my computer here.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to use your computer and have your
nut juice on my computer. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was relative to my ganglion cyst on my ankle or not. I had my cyst was on my right ankle, but I don't know what nut that's on. Actually, matter of fact, I don't know. It's weird to think about. Like I don't know which one it is. So. A lot of ailments, a lot of hives. Don't get much hives. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I did get screwed up by yesterday, and that was them cotton picking multiflower rose bushes. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Snapchat?
and I didn't understand.
God
First, I just
almighty.
saw the picture of your leg, and I'm like, must have got a skeeter bite. And then I saw the rest.
No.
See, I don't mess around like that. I dag on. If I can't get close enough to mow the line, I make the line stick out farther, where I can mow over them or back down over them.
Well, see, I don't want. I don't want them to keep intruding onto my grass.
So you got to mow it back further, make the grass go further. I'm saying you just dive in before you get there and mow it over.
Well, this one here is so steep, I probably wouldn't be able to back up. It's on my lake dams where that's at. Yeah. So anyway,
that's a problem.
Casey, you ready to take a break?
Hey, this pause for the cause is brought to you by yours truly. Listen, on September 13th, when are you supposed to do the Friday?
Friday.
That's right. September 13th, the Friday of Holland Fest from 8 to midnight. Our buddies Overboard, shout out Alan and Derek, are going to be taking the main stage, brought to you by us. We are providing entertainment for you on Friday night. We might also have some old beer tickets in our pockets that we're going to be giving away. So, Holland Fest, Friday, September 13th, 8 to midnight. Overboard, Alan and Derek, going to tear it up. Our buddy Smoke's going to be there too. They're going to play to midnight, and then we're going to head on down to the cabin for maybe an acoustic show.
Why are we going to be at the cabin?
Well, because we're hosting the second backyard barbecue competition, which you should follow our socials and flyer, because if you want your team to be register today. So Holland Fest is Dutchman Fest on Friday because our friends Overboard, Alan, Derek, 8 to midnight.
Maybe Worm.
plus our buddy Smoker, maybe Worm. Big Mace might sing a tune. Hell, we might all be up there for a jam session.
Highly doubtful.
May play the tambourine up there. But we want to see you out on Friday. And with that, all right, and we're back. Hey, guess what?
Yo, what's that?
It is time for the choice cut questions of the week for the fellas.
It's time.
Brought to you by Merkley and Sons. This segment is brought to you by Merkley and Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. Have you ever bought a 30-pound box of bacon at one time? Well, I did, and it was quite the experience. Opening up that box of fresh Merkley's bacon, knowing that there was 30 pounds of deliciousness in there, my goodness, what a deal. Be on the lookout next time so you can share in the same experience that I had. Okay, he's back. Super fan Corky Schmidt has sent some more questions for us. So, our buddy Corky says, I love the 2-bottle shows with Long Stroker Smoker. His first question from Corky, Stone Temple Pilots or Alice in Chains?
God damn. Alice in Chains.
Yeah, probably Alice in Chains for me as well.
I'm going to be honest with Corky, not familiar with either one of them too terribly much, as I'm not the big music guy.
Shocker.
But I would say that situational, Dave.
Yeah, that sounds good.
This one's going to be tough. Take a shot to the old nuts or catch your shin on a ball hitch?
Oh, I'll bust my shin any day of the week, man. If I get hit in the nuts hard enough, I'll puke, and I don't like vomiting.
I've almost puked hitting my shin on a hitch.
Well, you have a different type of shin.
I think I'd almost rather take a shot in the nuts. And like my shins don't have a whole lot of
meat on them. That old bitch is.
It's like that old Street Fighter Life bar. Like it's pretty low from 39 years of reckless abandonment.
I think I agree. I'm going to take the shot to the shins because the shot to the shins doesn't make me want to throw up. Mm-hmm. But the last time there was some incidental contact where you get that heavy feeling in the bottom of your gut, don't like it. Fried bologna and cheese or grilled cheese?
Fried bologna and cheese.
Bologna and
Especially if it's a thick slice cut from Merkley and Sons.
German.
Slap that baby on there.
with an egg.
Oh, that's good. Be bitten by mosquitoes for 1 hour straight or lay in a hot bed of chiggers for a half hour.
Ugh. Goddamn chiggers. I'd probably take some skeeter bites.
Nobody ever got the Zika from a chigger.
True that.
I'm going to pass. I don't even want to think about it.
You already got the crawlies. Look at him digging
I
around.
know. Favorite restaurant for breadsticks? What's favorite sauce with said sticks?
Oh, my Corky. So whatever that like Parmesan crusted herb bullshit that Pizza Hut puts on their breadsticks.
Yeah.
Like when you pull those suckers apart and then you like, this is so stupid. I don't do cheese. I don't do marinara. I usually take ranch.
I knew you were going to say ranch.
I usually take
TikTok user 1752.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah. He knows already. But I usually take some ranch seasoning and then I'll take Frank's Red Hot and usually make like a zippy ranch, probably more hot sauce than ranch, and I dip it in that.
Oh man.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
So nobody will know what it is here, but there's a Clara's back home, which Clara's is Pizza King, I guess. But Pizza King back home had these half-baked breadsticks.
Ooh.
They're real doughy.
Yuck.
Ooh.
God, they're awesome.
Really?
Yeah, but one that, and they've got like just Parmesan on them, and then I'm a dipping cheese guy. But around here, I guess since Noble Roman's closed there next to Hope Outdoor Power, I think probably Little Caesar's Crazy Bread is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Well, you got.
So it's funny you mentioned Noble Roman breadsticks and cheese sauce because the gas station down in Rockport still had, last time I was through, did the old Noble Roman breadsticks. Really liked them, that style of them that they make. So that was always a favorite stop after court down in Spencer County because I'd get some of them. Easy to eat them in the car, not a whole lot of mess. But I would say also, shout out to the guy I saw at Chicago's, because this is a Chicago's pizza plug if you're ever in French Lick. But their breadsticks that they put out there on the old buffet, they're kind of that style that they're not over baked where they're crispy, but they're just done that right amount. And if you get a good set of them, because I like them to be more, kind of the like the. Some places do the generic breadstick, and you can tell. I like a little bit of that homemade feel to them, so that's what I would go with.
I kind of figured one of us would pick a place that wasn't a pizza joint.
Yeah.
Like a Olive Garden or Fazoli's.
Ooh.
Olive Garden does have some good ones.
Yeah, especially when you get a big ass boat of Alfredo.
Yeah.
I always like dipping it in the salad.
Marinara.
There we go. Yeah, I get that. Here we got some specific questions. I'll go with long stroker smoker first. The biggest difference between Wayne County and DuBois County?
It's a lot flatter up north. Like, we don't have hills like this up there.
Yeah.
That was the biggest change out of anything, I think.
The glacier did that to you guys.
Yeah. And then, and Richmond's pretty, I mean, it's not like a huge city, but it's
It's pretty good size.
Yeah. So there's, plenty of surrounding rural areas, but most of the county is town.
Long Dong, your favorite crime podcast?
I'll just go. I mean, it was an old one, but like the first one that really got me hooked was Up and Vanish with Payne Lindsay. And I think that was Resonate Recordings or one of those back in the day when when Payne Lindsay first started Up and Vanished about the Tara Grinstead case. And then pretty much anything that those guys have done, Up and Vanished, Culpable, Atlanta Monster, like that whole series. Good shit.
Esquire, the status of the NBA. Well, Corky, I'm glad you asked. I am officially halfway done.
Nice.
My fifth class is completed.
Yeah, you just took a final not too long ago.
Last week.
How'd you do?
Well, we got B+ on the final, which was good enough to keep me an A in the class.
Baby.
So far, I've got 4 A's and an A-. I don't want to talk about that A-. We had a rough first test, Smoke, but I turned it around.
That's fine.
So I've got 5 more classes. So the plan would be I'll take my 6th class coming up. It's an economics class. And then there into 2025, I will hit the home stretch. Now, because my plan calls for somebody else paying for this MBA, I could be done next December technically, but we're going to stretch it into the spring semester of 2026.
I feel like that semester you overdid it was a tough one for you.
Yeah,
like
where we did 2 classes. I had 2 classes, yeah. And one of them was a lot of busy work. Corky asked about Southridge tennis. I played doubles. Probably was about a 3 singles player, but a really good doubles player. I'd probably be a great pickleball player. I mean, just quick reaction, quick hands, quick feet. Just a great athlete. What are you laughing
What a
about?
specimen.
Asshole. You're such a jerk bag. All right, Corky. Hey, we appreciate it.
bag.
And that's the Merkley & Sons Choice Cut Questions of the Week for the fellas, brought to you by Merkley & Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. Corky, we appreciate it. You need to come to the lounge one of these nights.
Hell yeah.
Hang out with us on a recording as a super fan that you are. We hope to see you on Friday, September 13th from 8 to midnight at Holland Fest.
Or Saturday, the 14th.
Or Saturday the 14th as well. You're always welcome, buddy. Be happy to see you anytime. Don't be upset, Smoke Dragon, that this is the end of the wild and wacky Wednesday Wandering Show, but it is. And our last pass around the table is brought to you by Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair, our buddy Todd Hayes.
The final trip around the table is brought to you by Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair of Huntingburg. Todd Hayes and the fellows are ready to assist you. Is your house hot and it shouldn't be? Probably need to get that looked at. Is your air conditioner making funny noises? Something else you probably ought to get looked at. Todd and the crew stand ready to assist you in keeping your house cold for you and, of course, the rest of your household. Give Todd a call today at 812-630-5719.
All right, big fella, mow responsibly here. What say you for this last pass?
Well, so we'll get into it more on Friday, but being spontaneous sometimes is really awesome. And I'll
What
elaborate.
did you do to Justine?
I'll elaborate more on Friday, so stay tuned for that. But keep your stick on the ice. Peace, love, and positivity. Come out to the Holland Fest on September 13th and 14th for our buddies Overboard. And if you want to sign up and register for the second annual Wondering Dutchmen Backyard Barbecue Competition, check out the link in the description of this video and get in there and get signed up. It should be a good time. We get a little bit more room this year. I was actually down there looking at the layout, and I think that's going to be it's going to be tricky, but it's going to work. Should have some gravel and some other things, and
We're gonna have our buggies too to get around.
yeah, we'll make everything work, but it's going to be the best for what we have to do. And other than that, catch you guys later.
Smoke Dragon.
You know what? I remember being times in younger Dave, me, but out of college Dave still. Just things that would just like throw me over an edge. Like, oh God, what are we going to do? Like panic sets in. You don't know how the hell to handle it. And then you just end up losing, right? It's just a loss. You got to chalk it up as an L. But as long as you learn from them, I try to always say that. And sometimes I think I'm full of horse shit that I'm saying that. But I've noticed there's been some things popping up here lately in the last 3 or 4 weeks that would have probably like 5 or 6 years ago, like sent me into like a panic, like, oh God, I don't know what to do. But you really do learn from all that stuff. So just try to always, keep your stick on the ice and walk away with the learning points when you can.
There you go. Big thank you to our friend Kyler Henry, K&J Insurance, who sent us some of these. I mean, these koozies are not your average koozie. Nice and snug to the old the old can there. I like it a lot.
Thick. 2 C's.
We like our koozies thick. Big thank you to our buddy Mark Seibert and Celebration Ice for that ice cold opener. The ice with attitude, we appreciate it. There's a little bit of Celebration Ice left in this bad boy, and I know that the freezer's got a couple bags in there. If you're not finding it at your local grocer or convenience store or liquor store, and you're over in Jasper, just stop by the Honor Box, throw some cash in there, get you some ice. Big thank you to Overboard for playing on September 13th. We're excited to have that. It's going to be a blast. I think we've damn near invited 1,000 people on that events page. Come out, stay for a while, stay all night. It's going to be fun. Holland rolls out the red carpet for the guests to come to our little part of the county. Overboard's going to rock. Those guys are jacked for the show. We may have to have them back on here to maybe play a little bit. Maybe we get that done before September, depending on those guys' schedule. Big thank you to Hayes Heating, Air, and Repair, as well as our buddies at Merkley and Sons for everything that they do. Those guys are great. My final thought is this. The bride and I celebrated 8 years, and I did the classic romantic post on Facebook, to which my wife didn't even realize. I had to tell her it was there. So, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but it was amazing the amount of people that wished happy anniversary. We've truly built a wonderful village around us and our family. And you guys are obviously a part of that village. And the best advice I can give some of these young whippersnappers out there, we don't do a ton of life advice because we're probably not the people to listen to. But I will say this, surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people that care, not about themselves, but care about the people around them. And you'll never have to sweat some stuff. I mean, Janelle and I, we have great people around us. For instance, Janelle and I went to Mama T's tonight for a little dinner, and Miss Amy McHugh watched kids. Stepped in, didn't play golf tonight with the ladies. She watched our children, and the McHughes have always been willing to help out when it comes to that with Kendall and Amy, so I really appreciate that. But get yourself a good village.
Hell yeah.
Because that's what it takes.
Amen.
And with that, fellas, it is time for us to bounce out. Let's all gather hands and sing the good songs.
I love it.
Dutchman out.